Installing a security shield in the NOC after a veteran engineer kept sabotaging my cable management. I've been working as a network engineer for about 6 months now, and while the job is great, the office politics are starting to drive me insane. There's this guy, Kevin, who has been with the company for 15 years. He's not my boss, but he's one of those senior guys who thinks he owns the server room. The problem started when I noticed our cable management was a complete disaster, literal spaghetti hanging off the racks, blocking airflow, and making it impossible to trace a line without unplugging something by mistake. Since I'm the new guy and trying to prove I'm proactive, I spent my entire Saturday shift, which I worked alone, cleaning up the main rack. I used Velcro ties, labeled every port, and color-coded the patches. It looked professional, and more importantly, it was actually functional. Monday morning, I come in and it's a wreck again. Kevin had literally ripped out my ties and let the cables hang. When I asked him what happened, he didn't even look up from his monitor. He told me he didn't like how the ties made it too hard to swap cables and that he's been doing it his way since before I was out of high school. He said the previous guy never tried to fix what wasn't broken. I told him it was broken. The fans were struggling because of the lack of airflow and we had 2 mystery outages last month because of loose connections. I asked him to at least use the labels I made. He just gave me a half-hearted shrug. 2 days later, I checked the rack. Not only were the labels gone, but he'd actually tucked his lunch a greasy takeout container right on top of a Cisco switch because it stays warm there. Instead of arguing again, I went to the manager and got permission to install a plexiglass security shield over the front of the rack that requires a specific key held by the on-duty engineer. I also set up a logbook. It's not high-tech, just a physical barrier to stop people from fiddling with the ports without a ticket. That afternoon, I heard a bunch of frustrated shouting from the server room. I looked through the glass and saw Kevin trying to jam a screwdriver into the side of the shield to pry it open so he could warm up his coffee. When he realized it wasn't budging, he came storming over to my desk. He started screaming that I was petty and disrespectful to the seniors over some plastic and string. He said that locking a colleague out of his own equipment is a slap in the face and that since he helped install the original servers in 2010, he should have some say in how the rack is managed. My manager is backing me up because the uptime has improved, but Kevin is now telling the rest of the IT department that I'm a power-tripping kid who's trying to push out the veterans. AITJ. Submitted by /u/available, stop, 2201.